There is someone in your life who knows exactly when you're not okay, even when you haven't said a word. Who notices when something shifted in your mood before you've opened your mouth. Who picks up on details about your emotional state that go completely unnoticed by the people closest to you. That someone isn't a friend. It isn't a family member. It's the animal that sleeps in your bed, watches you work, and stares at you from across the room for no apparent reason. Your cat knows things about you that nobody else knows. And today, we're going to understand exactly what those things are and why that happens. 1. Your cat knows how you're feeling before you say a single word. When you come home after a hard day, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to change your expression. You don't have to sit down and process what happened. Your cat already knows. This isn't magic. It's biochemistry. The human body responds to emotional states with measurable physical changes. When you're stressed, anxious, sad, or irritated, your body releases specific hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, and a range of chemical compounds that alter your scent in ways humans simply can't detect. A cat's olfactory system has approximately 200 million scent receptors. Humans have around 5 million. That means while you're still mentally processing what happened at work, your cat has already read your chemical composition and knows something is different. He doesn't wait for you to tell him. He already knows. And what he does with that information, whether he comes closer, gives you space, or stays silently by your side, depends on everything he's learned about you over the time you've spent together. 2. Your cat knows your rhythm better than anyone. There's something no friend, family member, or partner knows about you with the precision your cat does. Your routine at a microscopic level. Not the routine you describe to someone when they ask about your day. The real routine, the exact times you wake up, the speed at which you move in the morning depending on how you slept, the moment you go for water for the second time, the way you sit when you're tired versus when you're productive. Cats are compulsive observers. They spend hours of the day seemingly idle, but in practice, they're cataloging everything around them. Over time, your cat builds an internal model of how you function that is unsettlingly accurate. That's why he shows up in the kitchen before you get there. That's why he goes to the door before you pick up your keys. He's not guessing. He's recognizing a pattern he learned from watching. He knows your routine better than you do because he pays attention to every detail of it, with nothing else competing for his focus. 3. Your cat knows when you're lying to yourself. This might be the most unsettling one of all. There are days when you're not okay and you decide that you are. You convince yourself you're fine, act normally, keep going with your routine, and tell everyone you're great. The people around you believe it because what they see is what you're projecting. Your cat doesn't see the projection. He sees you. The scent of your body doesn't change according to what you decide to communicate. The tension in your shoulders doesn't disappear because you chose to ignore it. Your breathing rate, slightly altered by the emotional state you're suppressing, is still there and still detectable. Cats respond to what's actually happening in your body, not to what you're communicating through your behavior. So while everyone around you believes the version of yourself you presented, your cat is responding to the real version, the one you kept to yourself. That's why some days he stays glued to you for no apparent reason, exactly on the days you insist you're fine. He didn't buy your performance. Your body told the real story. 4. Your cat has mapped every variation of your mood. Over time, a cat that lives with the same person develops something researchers describe as an emotional map of their owner. It doesn't happen quickly. It's built over months and years of constant observation. Every time you were anxious and he watched what changed in your behavior, an association was registered. Every time you were sad and the environment shifted in a specific way, he learned to recognize that set of signals. Every time you were light and energized and the energy of the space changed accordingly, he mapped that too. The result is that a cat who has lived with you for years carries an internal library of versions of you that most people don't even know exists. He knows what you look like when you're pretending to be fine. He knows the difference between you being genuinely happy and you being relieved but still carrying something. He knows the difference between your physical exhaustion and your emotional exhaustion because the two produce different behavioral patterns that he learned to tell apart. Nobody else has that map. Nobody else has spent enough time watching you in silence, with no agenda, with no distraction, to build something like that. 5. Your cat knows when you need company and when you need space. One of the biggest misconceptions about cats is that they're indifferent to their owner's emotional needs. The reality is the opposite. They're extremely attentive to those needs, but their response is calibrated in a way that most people don't recognize as care. There are moments when your cat will appear out of nowhere and stay by your side, not asking for anything, not doing anything specific, just present. This tends to happen in moments when you're emotionally heavier. It's not a coincidence. It's a response to a signal he detected. And there are moments when he disappears, stays in another room, watches you from a distance, but doesn't come close. That's also a response to a signal. When the environment is tense, when you're irritated, when the energy of the space is agitated, the cat pulls back, because pulling back is the appropriate response to that stimulus. What looks like indifference is actually precise reading of the moment. He knows when his presence will be welcomed and when it won't, and he adjusts accordingly. No human does this with the same consistency because humans bring their own emotional needs into the interaction. Your cat doesn't. He's responding exclusively to you. 6. Your cat senses your anxiety before you do. This is one of the most striking points documented in animal behavior research. People who live with anxiety disorders frequently report that their cats start showing proximity-seeking behavior before an anxiety episode becomes conscious. Before the person realizes what's happening, the cat is already there. This isn't supernatural, it's physiology. The body begins producing stress hormones and making physical changes, subtle shifts in breathing, muscle tension, heart rate, before the conscious mind registers what's going on. A cat's sensory system is sensitive enough to pick up those early signals. In some cases, the cat detects the beginning of an anxiety episode before the person experiencing it does, which means your cat may know you're about to spiral before you know it yourself. That's a level of knowledge about your internal state that no person in your life has access to. Not because they don't care, but because their sensory equipment simply doesn't reach that level of detail. 7. Your cat knows your fears even though you never told him. You never told your cat what scares you. You never had to. Over time, he learned through direct observation. Every time a specific stimulus appeared and your body responded with tension, a loud noise, a specific situation, a type of interaction that makes you uncomfortable, he registered it. Not consciously or deliberately, but the way animals register patterns. Through repeated association. Over time, he knows which situations put you on edge, which environments make you tense, which kinds of interactions drain you. You never verbalized any of it. He never needed to ask. The people in your life know your fears because you decided to tell them, or because they were present in specific moments when those fears surfaced. Your cat knows your fears because he spent years watching you up close, without judgment, without agenda, cataloging every reaction of your body to every different stimulus. It's a kind of knowledge that goes far beyond what any conversation could convey. 8. Your cat knows how you sleep and what that says about you. This is rarely discussed, but it's one of the most revealing points of all. If your cat sleeps in the same space as you, he has access to a version of you that nobody else sees, the version that sleeps. He knows whether you move a lot or barely at all. He knows if you wake up in the middle of the night. He knows the exact times when your sleep is lightest. He knows when you snore, when you murmur, when your breathing changes. And beyond that, he learns to associate sleep patterns with behavioral patterns. Nights when you slept poorly produce a version of you the next morning that he already knows. He knows what to expect from you after a rough night before you even open your eyes, because he already associated the pattern of restless sleep with the mood that follows. No person in your life has that access. Not one. Even the people closest to you rarely see you sleep for real, with all the vulnerability and information that carries. Your cat has that access every single night. 9. Your cat knows which people are good for you and which aren't. This is something cat owners report with surprising frequency, and it has a real behavioral foundation. When someone who is good for you enters the space, your body responds in a specific way. You relax, tension drops, the energy of the room shifts positively. Your cat picks up on that. When someone who drains you or makes you uncomfortable walks in, the opposite happens. Even if you're being polite and not showing anything openly. Your body knows, and your cat reads your body. That's why cats often avoid certain visitors and seek out others. They're not judging the person directly. They're reading your reaction to that person. They use you as a thermometer for the room. When you relax around someone, the cat tends to come closer. When you tense up, even subtly, even in a way that's completely imperceptible to the people around you, the cat registers it and adjusts. Over time, he learns to associate specific people with specific states of you. And that association is more honest than any conscious judgment you'd make, because it doesn't pass through the social filter that stops you from reacting the way you actually feel. 10. The relationship your cat has with you is unlike anything else, and it was built in silence. The final point is perhaps the most important one. Everything described here, the emotional mapping, the body reading, the knowledge of your patterns, your fears, your sleep cycles, the people who affect you, was built without a single word, without a single conversation, without a question asked or answered. It was built in silence, over time, through pure observation. And that creates a kind of knowledge that is unlike anything else in your life. The people who know you well know you because you chose to reveal parts of yourself to them. You told stories, shared experiences, decided what to show and what to keep. The knowledge they have of you is the knowledge you allowed them to have. Your cat doesn't have access to the version you chose to present. He has access to the version that exists before any decision to present anything at all. The version that shows up in the scent of your body, the tension in your shoulders, the rhythm of your breathing, the way you move when you think nobody is paying attention. That knowledge wasn't given, it was observed, and it might be the most honest kind of knowledge there is. Your cat doesn't know you through the stories you told about yourself. He knows you through you. And that difference is everything. The idea that cats are indifferent, distant, or emotionally disconnected is one of the biggest misconceptions about the species. What looks like indifference is actually something far more sophisticated, a system of observation and reading that operates in silence, in real time, without interruption. While you live your life, your cat is right there, cataloging, learning, mapping, building a portrait of you that is more complete and more honest than any portrait any person in your life could build. Not because he's magical, not because there's some mystical connection between you, but because he spent years watching you up close, with no agenda, no judgment, nothing but pure attention. And that, in the end, is one of the deepest forms of knowledge there is.